I think it's about building your network. And the reason I say it's the best advice is because it's one that I didn't get for a long time. So I got that advice early in my career and it didn't resonate for a while. But once it did, I think I realized that I had been maybe building a network without me even realizing that I was building a network. But that is something that has served me well. And I pass that advice along to everybody. My first job was helping to park cars at all places, the racetrack, NASCAR racetrack in Richmond, Virginia. So I should have known then that the stars were aligning. But yeah, parking attendant. Absolutely. I mean, now I know the ingress and egress of any of these NASCAR races. So if I need to jump in and help out with logistics, I can definitely do that. I'm gonna give you two because I think they're tied for the lead, and they're very different reasons. One is the Dunkin' app, so I can order my coffee first thing in the morning, and the other one is Reddit. I have really gone deep down the Reddit rabbit hole in the last few years. I think I think of all of the social media platforms, I think it's way more conversational and way more insightful. So I think, oddly enough, Duncan and Reddit tied for P1. I've got a proclivity for the NASCAR subreddit for sure, but I've really gone down some interesting unintended rabbit holes. The aviation subreddit is really interesting. There's a Sopranos subreddit that, as a diehard Sopranos fan, I'm a sucker for. Movie quotes. I mean, it's all over the board. Yeah, I think it's a little bit of we've got to experience sports as fans more than I think we already do. We're very fortunate to work in the sports industry. I think if you talk to 12-year-old me and told him what I did for a living, he'd be really impressed. But I think we've got to continue to find ways as an industry to kind of buy what we're selling as a consumer and as a fan. And I think it helps that we are probably at our core fans of certain sports, but we've got to be consumers of that as well. So I think we can't get too far out of step from who it is that we're trying to engage with. I am fascinated by the idea of custom experiences in sports because not to speak out of both sides of my mouth, but there's part of me that thinks that's absolutely where the sports space is headed, that your experience and mine for consuming a baseball game may be very different. I think the only issue with that is it's such a communal type thing. I think they love the idea of fandom because they want to root for and they want to root against, and they want to do that socially. They want to do that with friends and neighbors and strangers that they sit next to in the stands. I think the way that you can thread that needle and coexist those two things, whoever cracks that code, I think will be ahead of the curve.